Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. It's Zany. In a previous video, you watched me cover all the core basics you'll need to get started in Warzone. But once you move past that beginner phase, you'll quickly realize that there are really only two ways most people play this game. You're either going in hot, guns blazing, stacking cash for kill streaks and loadouts, or you're skirting the gas and creeping your way into the final zone. Now, I'm not calling anyone a camper because you already know your boy does it too, so we'll just call it being patient and strategic. But what if I told you there's a third way to play, something that actually balances both styles in a more deliberate and tactical way? What if, instead of hot dropping or playing scared, you focused on small objectives that quietly give you an edge throughout the match? Whether it's zone intel, fast cash, or methodically eliminating targets, intelligently completing contracts might just be the playstyle you've been missing. Today, I'm breaking down the contract strategy I've been running lately. I'll go over every contract in the game, what it does, how risky it is, what the reward looks like, how long it takes, and the best order to stack and cycle through them. At the end of each contract, I'll also show you in real time what it takes to complete that specific contract. As always, no need to waste time. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe if you're enjoying the content. Let's jump in. I'm gonna start with the big game bounty contract, and the reason I'm starting here is simple. For me, it just doesn't rank. What that means is I don't get excited when I see this contract. First off, you have to wait until a few circles close before it even becomes available. And while the reward can be high, this contract will often pull you far away from your current position. It's high exposure, high risk. You might find yourself sprinting or driving through wide open terrain, and honestly, it's just not worth it. Unlike other contracts that only have one or two key variables, Big Game Bounty comes with a fleet of them. I get it. Some players love the chaos and challenge, but for a game like Warzone, where the entire match is already built around unpredictability, I don't see the need to pile on more layers of uncertainty. There are plenty of kills to chase, plenty of cash to grab, and plenty of other contracts to run, and if Big Game Bounty isn't part of my route, I'm not losing sleep over it. That said, for those unfamiliar, Big Game Bounty targets a high-value player or squad. Whether it's a bot or a real player, just know they're very likely on a hot streak, fully loaded with perks, kill streaks, self-revives, and more. And yes, they're often well aware that you're coming. If you do manage to take them out, you'll probably walk away with several $1,000s, strong loadouts, perks, and maybe even all of the above. I will say, on the rare occasions I've run this contract, the only time I've ever achieved Specialist was by taking out a Big Game Bounty. Enough about Big Game Bounty, let's talk about the others, starting with number 5, Supply Run. The objective for a Supply Run contract is simple. Reach the designated buy station within the time limit, and your reward is a stack of discounted items plus a free self-revive. There's almost nothing negative to say about this contract. If you can get there safely, this is a win for everyone, especially if you're running duos or squads. Just like Big Game Bounty, however, I've noticed Supply Run often forces you to rotate or reposition hard from wherever you're posted up. The designated buy station is usually several hundred meters away, which means you'll have to leave your current position and make a move. The upside? This one plays out a lot more predictably. You're chasing a static target, not a moving one, so it's easier to route your approach. As long as you don't go sightseeing, you've got plenty of time to make it. That means you can comfortably run there while using nearby buildings, towers, trenches, really anything to cover your movement. I'll also point out this might be one of the fastest contracts you can finish. Completion time depends almost entirely on how fast you can get there. I've had plenty of games where I pick one up, hop in a vehicle, and just 20 or 30 seconds later, I'm already at the target buy. Bottom line, no real downside here. Let's move on.
Unprotected buy station detected. If you reach it in time and receive buy station exploited. Nicely done. Your discount is applied.
Let's talk about Recon now. At number 4 is a contract I have a love-hate relationship with. Securing a Recon contract will send you to a specific location where intel on the next zone is waiting. Once you arrive, your objective is to hold that point and wait for the download to complete. The whole process takes about 30 seconds. The real challenge here is the location of these intel sites. They almost always either corner you in tight spots or drop you in wide open fields. And what a lot of players don't realize is that once the download begins, a massive vertical beam shoots into the sky, making your location visible from far away. Any player with decent awareness can push toward that signal, knowing full well you're stuck sitting still. I've been caught like this more than a few times, getting ambushed by players who don't even push the objective. They just wait it out, letting me become a static target right as the upload finishes. If you're going after Recon, I strongly recommend doing it when the surrounding area feels quiet. You'll know, no gunfire, no choppers, just ambient silence. I also tend to run these near the end of a circle, especially if I find one on the edge of the zone. At that point, most players are focused on repositioning or clearing the gas, so it's a great time to capitalize on a quick low-resistance recon.
Priority task request received. We're done.
I've marked a point on your map containing enemy intel. Capture and secure it to get ahead of the next gas spread.
I'll drive.
Nice job, soldier. Stay there to secure the intel point.
Quickly moving into number 3 is the return of Search and Destroy. If you've played Call of Duty multiplayer, you already know exactly what this entails. The Search and Destroy contract marks a specific buy station on the map, and your objective is to plant a bomb there and ensure it detonates. The catch? You've got to stay nearby to prevent it from being defused by enemy players. Similar to Supply Run though, you don't need to immediately zero in on the objective. You get roughly 3 minutes to reach the target, which gives you some breathing room. Once you're in the area, you can scope out your surroundings, check sightlines, or ensure there's distance between you and any potential threats. Pro tip, before planting the bomb, make sure you buy whatever you need, because once that bomb is armed, the buy station goes offline. After planting, the timer to detonation is 30 seconds, same as Recon, but this time, you're not forced to sit out in the open. You can use that time creatively, set up an ambush, go prone in some brush, post up behind micro terrain, or find a high angle to snipe from. The possibilities are wide open. The big downside, if an enemy gets to the bomb and you don't take them out fast enough, they only need 4 seconds to defuse it. Yep, 4. So once the bomb is planted, you need to instantly commit to a defensive setup and be ready to hold it.
Plant and defend the bomb at the location marked on your TAC map. Prepare for contact. Be advised, there's an enemy squad gunning for you. Solid work evading the enemy. You're clear for now. The bomb's been planted. Protect it from enemy squad. work, soldier.
Arriving at number 2, and perhaps my personal favorite, is the bounty contract. This is about as straightforward as a contract can get. No weird variables, no real surprises. You know you're heading into combat and you get a floating zone that shows you roughly where your target is. Your job, eliminate the marked enemy. The reason this is my go-to is because there are a few solid strategies you can run with this. The first is the hot drop bounty. Land fast, grab the contract, and go to work. If you do this early enough in the match, there's a really good chance you'll be hunting down an under-equipped player. Odds are they won't have a custom loadout, they won't have perks, and if you're extra lucky, you might even pull a bot that's still running in circles. The second strategy I like to run is mid to late game bounty pickups. At that stage, there's a high likelihood your bounty will get poached before you even get to them, and you'll still walk away with a couple $1,000s and some bonus XP. Honestly, it's sometimes a complete freebie. I'd even go as far as saying that 3 out of 5 bounty contracts I pick up mid to late game get poached. Now, if you're not familiar with that term, here's what it means. You picked up the bounty, you're moving toward your target, and someone else takes them out before you do. That's not your fault, it's just part of how Warzone works. And the nice part, you still get a partial payout and XP for the effort. So if you're low on cash later in the game, I highly recommend grabbing a bounty and seeing how it plays out.
Bounty targets marked. Kill them all.
We're finally at number 1, and if you ask me, this is hands down the easiest contract you can complete at almost any stage in the game. Let's talk about the Scavenger contract. Scavenger sends you on a short quote-unquote scavenger hunt that consists of opening 3 specific loot boxes. These aren't your regular crates, they're slightly larger and clearly marked with yellow stripes, so you'll know them when you see them. You have to open them sequentially, meaning the location of the next box won't be revealed until you open the one before it. The reason this comes in at number 1 is simple. It combines above average loot with above average cash, and it can be done crazy fast, especially if you're playing in duos or squads. Each new box gives you fresh loot, and it tends to get progressively better. You're not going to get a perfectly spec'd out meta weapon, but you'll absolutely walk away with enough to put you back in the fight. This contract keeps you moving, doesn't slow you down, and typically finishes with a low tier care package or even a self-revive. Early game strategy, think slightly upgraded weapons and a quick cash injection. Late game strategy, think easy armor, fast money, and a likely kill streak or bonus care package. No matter how you look at it, this contract just gives. You don't have to travel across the map or sit still on some exposed intel download site, and if you've just come back from the gulag stripped of all your gear, this is your best bet. Pick up a Scavenger contract, complete it, and you'll instantly feel like you're right back in the game.
The supply box is located. Move to secure.
Change the max!
One supply box down. 2 remain. You're losing ground. Move it. Two supply boxes down. 1 to go.
Let's begin to wrap it up. I shared why the big game bounty contract just isn't for me. The high risk and shifting variables simply don't outweigh the reward. I explained how supply run is likely the fastest contract you can complete, and when played smart, it offers a huge advantage, especially in team settings. We talked about Recon and how it tends to make you a static target. It can leave you feeling cornered or exposed, but the reward can pay off later in the match by helping you rotate or reposition more strategically. Speaking of strategy, if that's your preferred approach, consider working search and destroy contracts into your rotation. All it takes is 30 seconds and a solid defensive setup for a solid reward. My personal favorite remains the bounty contract. You can either catch an early under-equipped target or cash in from someone poaching your bounty later in the game. And finally, I broke down the benefits of the Scavenger contract, one that keeps you moving while stacking essentials at almost any stage in the match. Please keep in mind, all of this is based on Warzone Season 4 Reloaded, and by the time the next update hits, we'll likely see some contract rotation along with seasonal variants. Let me know what other Warzone topics you want me to cover, or what tips and tricks have helped you level up your own gameplay. As always, I appreciate you all watching.